Okay, so using the picture on 15, how many edges do we have? So versus 8. So on the top, how many edges does number 15 have?
4.
On the bottom, how many edges?
4.
Laterally, going up and down, how many edges are there on number 15? 4. So altogether we have 12. And then faces. Does anybody have any idea why they put it in order? Vertices, edges, face in that order? Vertices, edges, faces?
Like small stories.
V plus.
That is something, but that's not what I was asking. Faces are two-dimensional. Edges are one-dimensional, like line segments. Points, vertices, are 0 dimensions. They don't have any size. Anyways, kind of in order. Faces, so how many faces are on top of that box?
1.
How many on bottom?
1.
How many laterally?
2.
4 going around the side. So 1, 1, and 4 makes 6. So, Shannon, what were you saying again? Because we're about to need that.
This is V plus E.
You're close. You're on the right track. It's V plus F minus E. Should always equal 2. You guys remember that one? You don't have to have this memorized, by the way, but we do. You have to use it for number 2, so we'll write it down. So on number 2, it says a convex polyhedron has 10 faces and 24 edges. So you put 10 and 24 right there. And then they want you to find out how many vertices it has, so you have to do a little bit of algebra. This is for number 2. I did not, let's see, 3 is kind of hard, especially because it's hard for me to draw. I'll try to be neat. Yeah. Whatever. Okay, so 3 says identify the cross section of a cube formed by each described plane. The first lesson in this chapter, remember we did some drawing and like we cut a horizontal slice out of a cylinder and it makes a circle when you do that. That's what they mean by cross section. So number 3 it says a plane through the opposite edges of a cube. What do you think they mean by opposite edges? Wish I had a big cube, but I do not have a big cube. Got a box. Got a little cube.
No.
A little cube is a failure. All right. What do you think they mean by opposite edges? Like if this is the edge, what's its opposite edge? Yeah, the front. If it's top front, the opposite would be bottom back. So like the farthest away. So like these two would be opposite edges. If you drew a plane through it, well, if you like cut it with a sheet of paper, what would that shape on the inside be? It's kind of hard for me to draw it. So like going from here and here to here and here. Whoops. I don't know. You gotta use your imagination. Can you guys tell what it is?
Like if you cut it in half.
Well, if you drew a plane, if you had a plane going through the square from this edge to the back edge, what shape would it make? Yeah, it is. It's not a square. It's close to a square. It's actually a rectangle though, because this diagonal is like longer than these edges are. So yeah, it is a if you said rectangle, you were correct. A couple people said that. That's all. You don't have to draw a picture on these. It just asks for the shape, so it's rectangle. Alright, number 5 through 8, I realized in the other class, it's not something we did. Actually, I had no idea what they were talking about on number 7, different nets. Never looked at that, never read it. Okay, but number 9, you guys should be familiar with. Find the surface area and volume of a 13-inch tall regular prism with 8-inch by 22-inch base. Okay, surface area and volume. Do you guys, I know you've written some notes on these formulas. Do you guys know where they are right now?
What do you mean?
Because you might need them for your evens at least. I'm not gonna make the, remember that big list we went through on Friday?
Yeah.
And we've talked about them. Friday was the only day I put all of them together. And every other day we just kind of spread them around, but 5 through 9. I didn't write that down on the board, but we're skipping. Sorry, 5 through 8 we're skipping, and right now we're doing 9.
Oh,
I said that wrong. Okay. Number 9 is a rectangular prism. Something like this. And it's 8 inches by 22 inches on the base. And its height is 13 inches. Looks something like that. Kind of bugging me. Work. Alright, let's start with surface area. You guys think you have any ideas how we did this one? You could just find the area of all 6 rectangles and add them together, but that's not how we did it. We did area of the base times 2 plus, how did we find the lateral area, remember? Perimeter of the base times the height. That's how you find the lateral. Okay, and then volume, which was much easier. How did we do volume of prisms? Area of the base, so capital B, times height of the prism. Okay, so for this one, how do I find the area of this base right here? Yeah, 22 times 8, it's just a rectangle. But so it's 22 times 8 times 2 because there's 2 bases. So that's the base areas. Plus, what is the perimeter? What do I mean by P right here? Yeah, perimeter means if I'm walking around the base, how far is it to walk? 22 plus 8 plus 22 plus 8. Yeah, 60 is the perimeter. 60 feet times the height of the prism, 13. Plug all that in. And let's see, what's it spit out? 1132. Should I label this inches squared, or inches cubed? Squared for surface area. Okay, and I kind of said this already, but for the volume, this is answer number 1. These problems are going to be worth 2 points. One for the surface area, one for the volume. For the volume, it's area of the base, which we already said was 22 times 8 times the height of the prism, 13. So volume of rectangular prisms is very easy because you just do length times width times height. It's not a lot to it. And this would be inches, oh, so what's it come out as? 2288. This would be inches cubed.
Yeah.
All right, that clears mud. All right, number 10. I just read a story recently that there was some, like 3 different ladies, like 2 from the UK and 1 from Australia, that they like woke up one day and they had an accent that wasn't like where they were from. But it just said, it said they had like some kind of, they had really bad headaches and then they woke up the next day and they were speaking with an accent. But it said actually they just like had some like kind of brain problem and they had a speech impediment that made them sound like they're from other countries. What made me think of that? Oh, I was speaking with an accent.
Squares.
Sure, yeah, squares. I said it with a British accent, that's why.
Just the square.
So number 10, let's have a contest here. Who can tell me, like from your notes or whatever, surface area of a cylinder?
2 pi
Go ahead.
pi r squared plus 2 pi r height.
Yes, that's correct. 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h.
Oh.
Somebody's screwing something in. Okay. Oh, or is that a pencil sharpener?
Yeah.
I thought of a power tool.
Kind of is. Is it like I like sharpening.
Okay. Oh, and also number 10. What's the volume of a cylinder?
Pi r squared.
Pi r squared base times height. Pi r squared to h. For number 11, we're talking about a cube. They give us the surface area of the cube and we're supposed to find one edge of a cube. Well, the thing about cubes is all the edges are the same, right? Same length. So there's kind of a simple cube formula. What would if I call these edges E, what would the area of one side of the cube be?
E squared.
E times E squared. And how many edges, or how many sides, how many faces does a cube have?
8.
Not 8, 6. So if you just do 6E squared, that would work for a cube. You don't have to use the whole 2 base areas plus the lateral surface area. You don't have to use all that. You can just do that. So if we set that equal to the surface area, 1176, and we can solve this for E algebraically. How would I solve this algebraically? Divide by 6. Hold on, let me think. I think it was 1/6. Was it 196?
Yeah, it'd be like 14.
Yeah, the square root of 196 is 14, I think. Are we talking about inches again? Yeah, feet.
Wait, is there a volume of the cube?
They gave us the surface area of the cube, and we worked backwards to find the edge. How would we find volume of a cube? E times E times E cubed, yes. Volume would be even easier. You guys know how you would solve a problem like this?
Cube root.
Cubed root, that is correct. You guys, algebra skills, still sharp. Number 13. It's hard for me to draw this one. I'll try. The picture is very
Yo,
helpful.
what the? Freeze that.
Mr. Beast.
Oh, Grant, can I borrow your order?
Over now?
I'm just appointed for the regular sale.
Wait, no.
Surface area.
I think it's Mallory. I don't know if she's leaving or something.
Force is still a calculator.
Here, I need to borrow this.
Sure, what one?
The surface area.
Force, take my calculator back. Don't let me touch you. I will.
Holy cow.
I'll be back. 3 seconds later. You guys, this calculator. Amazing. Good job, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You did a great performance. You did a great performance.
Wait.
You made very, very. You're welcome. I'm talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was a very good actor. And you had how he was the best governor of California.
He was like,
I am the governor of California. No, he was like, you're gonna be like the Terminator,
What's
Terminator
his
gas
name?
slicers.
What's the last
Arnold.
name? What's his last name?
Schwarzenegger.
Oh,
What's his name?
that's funny.
Y'all make fun of it.
nay.
You know what other name is that one? Just say it. Dude, remember how in 5th grade I mispronounced that one river?
Oh,
A lot. You remember that, dude?
I feel like I do remember that.
Yeah, because Force was the one beside me in Easton, bro.
Yeah.
Wait, how do you pronounce Bud Rivers?
I'm gonna say that wrong next time.
Alright, guys, that's enough. Okay, this is supposed to look like what the book looks like, but can't draw it that neatly. So on 13 it says AH is 28, that's the height of the 28 inches. That's the height of the pyramid, it's supposed to be going like from the ground straight up to the top. And AG, what is AG in the picture? It's the what of the pyramid? Slant height. Yeah, you guys remember slant height? That slant height was used in the surface area formula. Remember the book used like an L for the slant, to stand for the slant height. So one thing it's asking for is the apothem. Oh, FH is 26. It's asking for the apothem of the base. So what is the apothem in this picture? Like what are we looking for? HG is the apothem. You can look, it's more clear in the, I couldn't draw all those dots in the background, it looked too confusing. So, but yeah, this is the apothem. If you look in the book, it's a little more clear. How could we find the apothem?
Maybe.
Okay, if I take this height out and the slant height out and the apothem out, what shape do they make?
Oh.
Makes a right triangle, right? You guys see it? This has to be 90 degrees because it's the height of the pyramid, so it's going straight up to the top, so it's perpendicular. And basically the apothem, this thing right here, is this right here. So how do we solve that for x? 28 squared plus x squared equals 35 squared, right? Or you could do 35 squared minus 28 squared equals x squared. Why don't you guys go ahead and do that? I'll work on my picture a little bit more. notes look weird. Alright, what'd you guys get? Don't tell me nobody did it.
21.
Okay, 21. That is the first answer, 21 inches. That's the apothem. But they asked another question, and that was to find the length of one of the edges of the base. Like, how long is ED? So, another fact they told us is that this line right here is 26 inches. That's like a radius of the pentagon. So that means if I draw the radius right here, from here to here, the book didn't do this, but if you did draw the radius right there, that would be 26 inches. So, and the apothem is perpendicular to the edge, so it makes another right triangle again. So it looks kind of like, if I redrew it, it looks like this, 21, 26. Well, what would X tell us? It would tell us half of the edge. So once we find X, we have to multiply that times 2. So, somebody help me set this one up. This doesn't come out as nicely as the other one does. Anya, do you know how we set this up for X?
Would it be x squared plus 21 squared?
Yep.
26 squared.
Okay, yeah, it comes out messy, so let's go ahead and let's do the decimal version. Don't worry about the square version. What does it come out as? Did you square root it already?
No.
I got 235 squared on it.
Yeah.
It's like 30.65 times it by 2.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you should get like 15.3 or something, but yeah, when you, 15.33, when you double it, which you are supposed to do, yeah, it comes out as 30.7, I think. Wasn't that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
30.7 inches, yeah. So this is the second answer. Okay, so it goes from that one, which was fairly hard, to number 15, which is extremely easy, hopefully, anyway. Number 15, 14 is kind of easy too. 15, how do you find the volume of that cube? 9 times 9 for the base, times 9 for the height, so 9 times 9 times 9. Equals, I think it was 729. Inches squared or inches cubed?
Inches cubed.
70. Find the surface area
Sure.
of the tent. You guys, oh, it's like the third time today. You guys know what you did did with the notes from Friday? Stored in your locker. All right, so we got a triangular prism. How do we find, 17 is surface area. 16 is actually easier, it's the volume. How do we find surface area of a prism again?
I would know if I had my notes.
Two base areas, well, we kind of did a similar one on number 9. Two base areas plus the perimeter of the base times the height of the prism. Okay, how would I find B? How would I find the base area? Okay, the triangles, the sides that are identical are the bases. What? Somebody said something. Yeah, what would the base times height divided by 2 look like for this one? Okay, so the area of the base is the base of the triangle times the height of the triangle divided by 2. So 20 times 9.8 divided by 2. You could save yourself some button pressing by like canceling out the times 2 divided by 2. Those would reduce. But that would just be the two base areas. What would the perimeter have to be? Or how would I find the perimeter? Well, this is 16 right here, so guess what? That's 16 right there. So 14 plus 16 plus 20 would be the perimeter of the base. 14 plus 16 is 30, plus 20 is 50. What would the height of the prism be? Yeah, the prism's kind of lying down, so the height is actually like the length, but yeah, it's 40. Anyway, that'll do it. Lots of work. And it comes out to 2196 centimeters, or centimeters squared or centimeters cubed. Okay, we're gonna do one more, and then if you guys did not finish yesterday's, I want you to work. You can get it with your partner or whatever and finish that up. This is due Monday. Yesterday's is due tomorrow. So prioritize yesterday's, I would say. Number 19, find the volume of the cone. Okay, so basically when we did volumes of prisms and cylinders, it was area of the base times the height. But on cones and pyramids, do you guys remember what changed? Instead of area of the base times the height, it was, there was a 1/3. Cones and pyramids have less volume because they like sink in to a point. Anyways, because number 19 is a cone, the base area would actually be pi r squared. So that would be a better formula for number 19. 1/3 pi r squared h. The r is 5. And the height is 12. So I think this one came out as 100 pi feet cubed.
That isn't that bad.
No. Some of them are kind of messy, but those were earlier in the assignment. Oh, there is something. Somebody asked me about this in the other class, so I need to mention it. See if we can draw that. on 18 they ask you to find the surface area, and to do surface area you need slant height. So, but they don't give us the slant height. So how could I find the slant height?
Like, 30 to 90.
Yeah, good. So, yeah, I don't know if we've used this trick on the cones yet, but the radius of the cone is 5. The height, I just got this from the picture. The height is 12. If you draw it so it looks like that, you can see it's a right triangle again. So yeah, 5 squared plus 12 squared. That will give us the slant height squared. Yeah. You guys remember the 5, 12 blank triangle? Maybe not.
What's the part of the floor surface area from? What's the part of the floor surface area from?
Well, Shannon's not here. Does anybody have the cone surface area handy? Really? Only Shannon has notes?
Yep.
Pi r squared plus pi r l.
Thank you.
Okay, this is not the answer to 18. This is the slant height, which that's what you need for to plug in on 18. Don't, yeah.